Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Big Bold You, a show that is dedicated to inspiring every person out there, and yes, I mean you, to play bigger in your life. And I promise you, it is so much easier to play bigger than you think, but you can't do it by yourself, and that is by design. We want to inspire you to be bolder, which means you are going to have to get comfortable being uncomfortable, which means you got to step out of those comfort zones so you can become the best version of you. The world in which we live in, there's a war between good and evil. And the only way evil wins is when good people don't do enough. And I promise you, we were not just sent here to live and exist. We were sent here to create and to help make this world a better place. Every week, we have incredible guests on the show that share their story, their journey, their passions, and their bumps and their struggles and their obstacles. Today, we have an incredible guest. I am so excited to bring him on, and it is Fenton Fulgham. Did I say it right?
You said it right. Did you say Fulgham or Fulgham?
Hey, listen, I've been going back and forth because I don't want to pronounce it incorrectly, but you know what? Fenton, that's all I know you as. Fenton.
That's everybody knows me, Fenton.
And I just am so excited to have you on the show because your heart and your soul is about making this world a better place.
Oh, yes.
And it's about making it a better place one kid at a time, one person at a time, one dance at a time, one project at a time.
Exactly.
So tell everybody who you are.
I am Fenton Fulgham, and I was put on in this world, to inspire, to uplift, to share my gift because it's not mine.
Right.
To hold on to, but to share it and to give it and to help everybody understand, especially kids, who they are.
Right.
Don't let anybody else define them. It's inside of you, and you have to tap into that to resist all those ugliness.
And there's so much ugliness going on, and people are confused. And you and I both have a heart for kids because we know the kids are the future. We know that there's just so many factors in the world that are beating the kids up. I call it the beat down.
Right.
And if you are beat down as a kid, most likely you're going to continue to you start to beat yourself down.
Exactly.
But one of the things that you just said, which I think is it's so big, and you said the gifts that you've been given and your talents, they're not for you.
Nope.
And I think when we realize that you have got a gift that you've got to share with the world to make this world a better place.
Exactly.
And you can't keep it to yourself. And so share a little bit about what your gift is.
And I realized that because I was extremely shy as a child. Mm-hmm. And I mean, to the point where I withdrew from kind of like society, friends, everybody. And so I came to this point where I love people, and I knew I loved people, but I was afraid.
Even when you were shy.
Even when I was shy, I knew inside of me, there was something inside of me that I just love people, and I love different people and different way they do things and handle things. But I couldn't come out of this, whatever it was that was holding me back. And then I realized when I start telling jokes and start saying things that they would laugh, and it opened me up. And then when I started playing football and they would cheer and whatnot, and I'm like, you know what? Whatever I'm going through, I have to step out because I cannot help anybody if I'm in this little shell of my own.
Right.
So I have to just share my life. I have to be vulnerable.
And so this is what I think is so interesting is I'm convinced that there are so many other people that are out there. I'm convinced that there's so many other kids that think the same way, and adults, where it's like the fishbowl, where you're outside looking in, and you think everything is operating a certain way, and you want to be a part of it. But I don't, it's fear.
It's exactly.
It's fear of the unknown. It's fear of, golly, are they going to like me?
Exactly.
But in reality, most everybody else in that fishbowl is thinking the same thing.
Exactly.
So
Because if they're doing the same thing that you're doing, like I'm a choreographer, you got all these other choreographers, and we get intimidated by comparing.
oh, comparing is one of the worst things you can do. So
Exactly.
one of the things that I've done before, I do this signature event. I just finished it on May 4th. But one of the things I do is the 2 years, 2018 and 2017, I had 3 videos of people singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow. And the first person I had singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow was Judy Garland.
Right.
And of course, that's the
The
original,
original.
right?
Yep,
The
that's the
original,
original.
Judy Garland singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Amazing. Then the second one, right afterwards, Patti LaBelle. And so, Patti LaBelle, I mean,
Wow.
she is belting,
Exactly.
and then the third, Barbara Streisand.
Oh, nice.
And I mean, it's one after another after another. And then when we cut it, I say to the people, the attendees, who sang it the best? Well, you can't. There is no best. They were all
Oh,
phenomenal.
exactly.
So it can be the same song, it can be the same lyrics, but each person expresses
Expresses
it
it
differently.
differently. Yep.
And
Exactly.
that's what's so, I think, incredible about our gifts is you can have the gift of dance, you can have the gift of choreography, you can have the gift of creation, you can have the gift of understanding and empathy and love and what, but you're going to do it differently than anybody else in the world.
Exactly.
And that's when you have to say to yourself, well, gosh, I have to do it then because nobody's going to do it just like you.
At all.
And when did you come to that realization?
You know what? I started choreographing. I started writing down all my choreography, and I get frustrated. No, no, no. That's got to be better. That's got to be better. Nope. I can't do this. I can't do that. And then I realized this is not fun. This is work, and I don't want work at what my talent is, my joy.
Yes.
I can't let that steal my joy.
That's such a great point, Fenton.
So I'm like, oh my gosh, what can I do to maintain this joy? And what I did was I opened up myself to whatever comes through and trust it, which is scary.
It is scary.
Because people will judge you, but I didn't care.
Right.
Whatever comes out, so I make up my choreography on the spot. That kept me excited because I didn't know what was going to happen.
That's so
And I'm like,
awesome.
yes, that was awesome. Hallelujah.
You're like, did somebody video that? Did somebody?
Yeah, did somebody get that? Because I ain't not going to remember it, but that's okay.
But you know what? See, that's what to me, we're involved in something really special, Passion Dallas. And
Right.
we gotta thank Carrie
Yes.
Bernstein. for
Carrie,
that.
love you, Carrie.
We love you. We love,
Love you.
And that's really her passion, which is pulling out the passion of
in
other
others.
people
Yep.
and saying, hey, listen, this is what passion is all about. Passion is it's a joy. You love doing it. It's not work. And when you realize that you're nitpicking your gifts and your talents where it's not fun anymore, you gotta let go and give in.
That's right.
And interestingly enough, one of my mentors, somebody that is helping me write a book right now, her name is Tammy Kling and Tiara Tompkins. They're amazing with On Fire Books, but they also have this event called The Conversation. And recently, this past year, I hosted the Conversation for Women's event, actually here at On Air Media Studios. But there was a part where I'm a planner. And so I'm planning. And about 2 days before the event, they said, Jens, you got to relax, release, and let God
Ooh, that's right.
do the rest.
That's right.
You've done all
That's
you
powerful.
can do. And now and I'm telling you, Fenton, when I got off that call, I just said, I release it.
Right.
I release it, and whatever else happens from this point forward. And I enjoyed that event
So
so
much.
much.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so I decided every one of my events, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to plan, I'm going to prepare, but 48 hours into it, I'm just releasing. I'm going to let God take the wheel.
That's right.
And I think that's what you were saying is
Exactly.
when you just said, hey, these aren't my gifts. They weren't given to you for you.
Right.
So why are you trying to control it?
That's right. That's
You
awesome.
know, I
That's
mean,
right. That's exactly right.
so the thing that I think is so such a blessing is you're imparting that onto so many people that you come in contact with. And what are some of those things that you're doing?
Here's the thing. When I go, like we go into schools, I love going into schools.
I want to do
I
this
just did
with
a school. You
you.
need to come.
I want to do this.
You would be just blown away because when I go into schools, I either do a dance party or Officer Chris Biones and I will go in for Red Ribbon Week and we speak on bullying and all these things. And then we get them relaxed with dancing and they love the songs and whatnot. But the thing is, when I go in, it's not my purpose to teach them how to dance.
Right.
My purpose is to teach them about themselves and who they are and how they can accomplish anything, that they set their minds to because God has put everything in you.
It's
I'm
right.
only developing what you have.
Exactly.
It's like a trainer.
Exactly.
You have muscles, but you won't see them unless you train and you have a trainer to
I
train it.
love that
It's already there.
analogy. I
You know what I'm
love that
saying? Yeah,
analogy.
it's already there. So,
One of the things that I do is we have a book of the month, and this was book of the month in April and May because sometimes it takes you 2 months to finish a book.
longer for me.
But one of the quotes is from Kurt Cobain, oddly enough,
Oh,
and it
Kurt.
says, "Wanting to be someone else is a waste of the person you are."
Wow.
And
That's
I
powerful.
and to me, what you said when you go into the schools, you're helping those kids create and form their identity. And their
Exactly.
identity, I think, and again, I think adults do this also,
Of course.
is they don't really know who they are.
Hmm.
And when you don't really know who you are, well, gosh, you look at Fenton and you say, man, Fenton's a badass. I'm gonna do just like Fenton because he's awesome. Or, I think Jen's got what she's going on. I'm gonna do that. But
Yeah.
but you can't do that. You've got to know, you got to create who you are. And then people need to realize that they're so special. No one else can be them.
No.
No one else can be them.
No, you
And
can't.
it was interesting because I've got another connection with eWoman Network. I'm the executive managing director for the Dallas chapter here, and Kim and Sandra Yancey own it. And Kim Yancey was at the Grammys one year. He said very early on in his career, and he was standing backstage with the CEO of Columbia Records. And there was somebody performing, and they were performing a love song. Now, how many love songs are there out in the world?
Oh, yeah.
You can't even count them.
No.
It's countless.
Yes.
But as the person was singing, he looked at Kim and said, "Always remember, the world is always waiting and ready for the next love song."
That's right.
The world is always waiting for the next choreographer, for the next singer, for the
Always.
next coach, for the next, author, for the next book. And I mean, I say for women, we're ready to have another pair of shoes. And you know what I'm saying?
Me too.
I mean,
I love shoes.
we're not gonna just go with one pair of shoes.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
so the world is waiting for everybody to share who they really are.
Yeah.
And that's really what you're passionate
It,
about.
it is. Here's the thing. I get up and coming stars, and I try to prep them for when they go on to be whoever they want to be. And they always say, Fenton, I want to dance like Usher. I want to dance like Michael Jackson. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Because if you do that, you're still going to be the second Usher. Mm-hmm. You're not going to be
That's
Usher.
so-
You're going to be the next thing to Usher. Why not reinvent
Right.
the whole thing,
You know-
yourself and everything?
One of the things that I love that you do, and I've witnessed it, is you ask questions.
Yeah.
You ask questions. I've got a couple, two new daughters in my life.
Oh, yeah.
And I brought one of them, and you were asking her questions, and she got in the car and she was like, what did he mean by that? What do you mean by that? Because people don't ask.
That's
And,
right.
and listen, we have to constantly be asking ourselves questions. But
Exactly.
if you're not used to questioning yourself, one of the things I say all the time is I always think when I run, I think. And I mean, I want to know when you do your thinking, because I know you think a lot. You
When,
can't not think a lot and do what you've done, because you always got to be thinking. You always
exactly.
got to be thinking.
You have to be.
But thinking is asking yourself questions and getting involved with people, and they're asking you questions, but we're not asking our kids questions.
No. No.
I'll never forget it, because she was like, what does he mean by that? Why do you ask me that question? But just like you said, why do you want to be the next Usher?
Right.
Why do you want to be the next Michael Jackson?
What's the point?
Be you.
Be you. Yeah.
Be you, because
The world is waiting for you.
that's right. That's what, when people realize that you got to be you, because nobody else can duplicate or copy that. And you can't duplicate or copy somebody else. You just can't.
You know, I watched a movie of Ray Charles, and the most interesting thing that I saw in that movie was that Ray Charles was an imitator. He imitated everybody, Sam Cooke, all these guys. He could do them to the T. So when he went in to record, he started sounding like everybody else. And the guy was like, the producer said, "Hey, hold up,
Right.
hold up. You sound like this. Where is Ray Charles?"
Exactly.
And that's where his sound came back
Always.
for him.
But
No one sounds like him.
But you know what? That's the magic. We ourselves individually, we are the power and we are the magic. And when we're trying to be somebody else, it goes away.
Yeah.
Our magic goes
Away. That's right.
And
That's so correct.
And one thing I think is really interesting, because you are a performer, and I have been blessed to have performers in my life. I am not a performer. I mean, you don't want to hear me sing or watch me dance, although I look good or have fun. But I think that realm is where you see so much authenticity.
Yes.
Because if you don't pull out who you genuinely are,
Right.
you're not going to make it.
No.
But in life, there are so many people in life that are just being who they think they should be, or who they think they want someone else wants them to be. And to me, that's the magic of what our hearts are, is pulling out that, because the world needs each and every one of us to be authentically ourselves.
That's right. It's a fresh new thing, and everybody wants fresh.
Yes.
But everybody wants to stay the same. A lot of people want to stay the same. They want to stay in that little box, and it's because it's successful. Well, that success runs out because people get burnt out.
Right.
So you got to reinvent something different. I would ask, like, when rappers would come and they would use profanity and all that, I'm like, why? Why would you do that?
Right.
Oh, well, because it's popular and everybody else is doing it, and I'm gonna make money.
Right.
Is that the reason why you're doing what you're doing? To make money?
Exactly.
Because let me tell you something. If you use your gift for what it's supposed to be, money will follow you.
Always.
And you won't have to worry about that. But
Always.
you don't have to do profanity. You can
No.
read the dictionary. Come up with some extraordinary words. I mean, but hey, I'm telling you, then people will be like, what does that mean?
Yeah,
Hold up.
exactly.
Let me-
Hold on.
Let me find out what
Exactly.
that word was. What did he? Eminem does that.
Yes.
Eminem will get you going like, what did he
Right.
just say?
Because that really, we want, if we are, iron sharpens iron.
Yes.
If we
Yes.
want to make one another better, so we make this world a better place, we have to challenge ourselves.
Ooh,
You
I
know
say that
that?
to my manager all the time. We always say that to
We
each
have
other.
to challenge
Iron
ourselves.
sharpens iron.
Yes, iron sharpens iron. And you don't want someone always telling you, "Oh, you're doing a great job. You're doing a great job." You want
No,
someone to
no.
say, "You know what? I think if you did XYZ, this might, it's the collaboration
Exactly.
of people that want to make this world a better
Which
place."
brings growth. in you
Yes,
because you never stop growing.
never.
My manager, Viviana, oh, she always challenges me.
Oh, yeah.
Let me tell you, this is what you got to do. Fenton, you got to. And I'm like, yes, yes. I didn't
Exactly.
know that. I didn't know that.
You have to have those people in your life that they want you to be better, not because of monetary gain, but because your impact in the world is more substantial.
That's right.
And one of the things that I was talking to Carrie Bernstein with Passion Dallas is she said, how would you describe the type of people that we're looking for? And I said, in my mind, it's the 1%ers in the world.
Right.
It's
Right.
not 95% of the people in the world, they're just drifting and existing.
They're in the matrix. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
And 5% of the people, they're trying. You have 2.5% that succeed, 2.5% fail. But in the 2.5% that succeed, you've got the 1% that they're not working for money.
Yes.
They are working
Thank
for
you.
purpose.
Preach.
They are working for passion.
Yes.
And they want to make this world a better place. I mean, I can't tell you how many times, I have sat across the table from my husband because he's in corporate America. He's CEO. He's very CEO-y.
Yeah,
That's just how he
CEO-y.
is.
I like that.
He's CEO. He's corporate. And I'm sitting across the table and I'm like, Dave, we've got to make this world a better place. I mean, I'm in tears saying, what are we going to do next? I mean, who do we need to meet with? I mean, what do we need to work together? Because it's not about how many books you sell. It's not about how many followers you have. It's how many real lives we can make better. Because if we can make one person's life better, that ripple effect, I mean, it brings me to tears. And that's, to me, the 1%.
That's your passion. That's your passion.
And
That's why anytime you cry or have tears,
Oh, yes.
it's what's inside of you
Yeah.
just aching to get out.
Exactly.
And here's the thing. There's so many people that don't understand what you're saying, and it doesn't make sense to us.
Right,
You
exactly.
know what I'm saying? Why chase fame and fortune and all this
Right.
other stuff? Why do that when your purpose? See, this whole world, I figure it out. It's about relationships.
Oh,
That's
100%.
Because
Love.
you can't take anything with you when you die or
Right.
pass away. Only relationships. So when you go to heaven, you're going to have a relationship.
Right.
That's it.
That's it.
So here on earth, it's all about relationships, not
Amen.
about anything everything else fades away.
Well, and to me, I always say love. Love is the answer.
It is the
for
answer.
everything. It's love.
It is.
Instead of trying to always state your side, stop and say, I love that person. And regardless.
That's unconditional love. Go ahead.
Go
ahead.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You don't have to always agree.
No.
You don't have to always agree.
No.
But I just think if the basis is love, then that's the answer to
That
all
is the
of it.
answer.
It's the answer. It's like we got to love one another. We have to love our differences. We have to love what we bring. But there's just that's why the Beatles, all you need is love.
That's right.
It is.
But see, that's why you are where you are right now. Because of your compassion and that you understand love.
Right.
You understand that no matter what people thinking or saying or whatever, even the people who talk against me or speak against me, I really appreciate that.
Right.
Because they must like me enough to talk about me. I mean, continue to talk about me. What? I mean, that important in your life?
But that's
to keep
so
talking about me.
true,
So you love me and I love you back. Thank you
Exactly.
so much.
But you know what? It really is so true, though.
Yes.
Because when you honestly don't give a rat's ass
Right.
about somebody, you're not talking about them. You
Yeah.
don't care. You don't care.
You're hurting just yourself because
But and that's the thing is, it's if there's a saying that says, I'd rather be kind than right.
right.
And that's
That's so
it's
powerful.
It's okay. I don't have to be right. That's all right. Because it doesn't matter.
It doesn't
anyway.
matter, right and wrong.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
It
You can
doesn't.
argue over that for years.
And people do.
They
I mean,
do.
people, it's like relationships have been lost.
Oh,
Families
yeah.
have been torn apart
Yes.
over something so small.
Insignificant. Yeah.
Insignificant. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
So we were talking before we started the show,
Yes,
though,
yes.
about how so many times people will look at someone like you and
Yep.
say, gosh, she's had all this great success. But behind every great story is great tribulation and obstacles and struggles and self-doubt and all of that kind of stuff. And how have you gotten through that?
See, those things right there are powerful instruments that can just personally stop you from what you're trying to go. And what the enemy uses is the closest people to you, because you don't care about other people.
That's exactly
You can
right.
fight them.
Yes.
But when it comes to people who are close to you,
It's like a knife. Cut like a knife.
So what you have to do is remember your purpose, remember your vision, because everybody has a vision. They just got to
Yes.
tap into it. But you have to keep moving forward, because they don't mean to hurt you or stop you. They just want to be careful for you.
Right.
Well, when you're moving forward, you can't be careful. You got to keep going. You got to walk through
exactly.
it. You're going to walk through the fire.
You have to.
So you got to say, hey, come with me through the fire. And see,
Right.
people don't want to get burned.
No.
Burn me.
Yes, exactly. But see, here's the thing is that's why you are a one percenter. And I'm a one percenter because I'm the same way. I'll walk through the fire and you can go behind me. I'll walk through the fire and you can be beside me, because we're going to get through it. We're going to get through it. It's like there is no end. You are going to go through it.
Exactly.
And so you just got to keep moving. You got to keep moving. I mean, that's so many people don't realize. They just don't realize that. I think the obstacles in our life, that's what that makes us stronger.
Right.
More compassionate.
Right.
Have more empathy. Things don't happen to us, they happen for us.
That's right.
They're part of we're being refined.
That's right.
And we have to go through those times. I mean, I can remember when I was a single mom, and I remember my kids were young, and there was a time, it was where, I mean, literally, it was Christmas Eve. I had $12 in the checking account, and it was before smartphones, so I had to go to the ATM and put my card in and see how much money, and I kept going back. I kept going back because I had to go buy Christmas presents for my kids. And I would drive around and I would say, it's not going to be like this forever.
Right.
It's not going to be like this
Right.
forever. It's not going to be
That's
like this
hope.
forever.
That's hope.
It is hope. And
Yeah.
because I knew it wasn't going to be like
Right.
this forever. But was it that way that year? Yes, it was. But I just
Seasons.
It's everything happens but let me tell you what, I have a heart for single moms. I have a heart for people. Listen, one of my missions is I want to teach people how to be financially abundant, because it's important. But sometimes I think that you don't reach that financial abundance until you have been groomed enough to be able to do the right things with your financial abundance. Sometimes I think when
Yeah.
people have money issues,
Yes.
it's because you got to grow up now, because
Yeah.
when money comes to you,
Ooh.
when money comes to
Talk.
you, if they give them to you now, you're going to waste it.
Well, I talked to Michael Irving, the football player for Dallas Cowboys, and he said, here I am, a young kid coming into the league, have no idea, because I've been in the hood so long, living in the hood so long, had no idea how to handle
Money.
once I got that
Right.
money. I wasn't taught. And it's scary, because look what happened to him
Right.
at the time. And that's what I'm telling you. Everybody needs to go through preparations, trials and tribulations, because you can't help anybody if you don't go through anything.
Exactly.
If you have a perfect life, who are you going to help?
Exactly. You got to have the test to have a testimony.
That's right.
You got to have the
Exactly.
test to have the testimony.
You being a single mom, now you
Yeah.
can help single moms. You
Oh,
can
yeah.
help them. Same with me. I can't help you with alcohol and drugs and all. I've never done that.
Right.
I can't help you.
Right.
But anything else other than going through some stuff financially, I can help you with that.
Oh, yeah.
I can tell you to press on. I can tell you to move on. I mean, I got to the point where I had nothing as well,
Right.
and I go into a store. I want to steal, but I
Right,
can't.
right.
Be honest. I'm gonna be real. I wanted to take what I needed for my family, my friend, and for myself. But I was like, I can't do this. I have to keep moving forward and believe in myself. And you have to surround yourself who believes in you as well.
Exactly. I think that is the overarching theme for the signature event I do every year is creating winning life teams. Because you have to have a winning life team.
You have to.
And in my journey, there's 3 pillars of development. There's personal development, professional development, and legacy development. And like I said, we're not sent here just to exist. We're sent here to create.
That's right.
But you got to develop personally. You got to develop professionally. You leverage the learnings, the experience, the financial earnings, and then you can start creating legacy. But you have to have a winning life team around
have
you.
to.
And
Can't do it alone.
No, you can't. And that's by design. That's what I tell people all the time. I said, don't get mad at yourself for trying to do it by yourself. It's by design you can't do it by yourself. And it's like, it's like trying to start a car without an engine. It's not going to start. It's not going to start.
That's right.
In our lives, we're supposed to help one another.
That's right.
That's why you can't do it by yourself.
No.
If you're a faith-based person, it's just like in the scriptures where it says your body, you have all these moving parts because you can't just have one part and expect to be able to do what you need to do.
No, we all are the body. And we all have different parts and different ways of doing things. Especially when you say iron sharpens iron.
Right.
I mean, there's things that, okay, I'm talented in dancing and whatnot and stuff like that, but business, I'm an artist. Come on now.
Right, exactly.
So you need somebody.
Yes, for sure.
For that part. And I don't like marketing myself.
Right.
So you need somebody for that part.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think, I'm like, I can't do that. I can't say that. No, you can. But let me do it.
Right.
So I got somebody to do that, this.
Oh, yeah.
And you surround yourself. The key to is you surround yourself with those who believe in you.
Yes, they share the passion. They share your vision, and again, they're helping make you better because they want your impact on the world to be more substantial.
Exactly.
And that at the end of the day, it's you are surrounding yourself with takers. It's not going to work.
No.
Because and I think that's one of the most important things, Fenton, and it's one of the my passions is I want to promote people like you. I want to promote people that they're not taking from you. They want to add to you.
Exactly.
They're not surrounding themselves with you because surrounding themselves with you is going to make them better.
Right.
They're surrounding themselves with you because they know their gifts and talents are going to help you make a bigger impact on the world.
Exactly.
And that's how we help one another. And that's how, listen, we're not going to be on this earth forever.
No.
We're not going to be here, like you said, forever.
Right.
But the impact for good or bad that we
Right.
make,
Right.
it will.
Here's the thing. I mean, I've had a lot of coattail riders.
That's exactly what they are.
You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly what they
I had
are.
a lot of, and I'm such a nice. I know my heart is like for people. Like I said, I love
I'm the same
people.
way.
So when there's coattail riders, I don't see it. My friends will say, "Dude,
Right, exactly.
that dude's riding your coat," and I'm like, "What? Really? I don't." But
I have the same thing.
you know what I'm saying? So
Yes.
you got, but you learn and you grow and you say, "Hey, look, this is a purpose that I have. This is not for you. This is not for me. It's not for selfish reasons or whatever. You have to understand that you have to give of yourself in order to receive.
Right.
You have to give
Have to.
in order to receive.
And I think with the coat riders, I think that's such a important lesson because really, I'm the same way as you are, where my heart is, I want to help, I want to help, I want to
Right,
help.
right.
But then I go and I say, but if I don't push the coat rider off my coat, I'm not helping them because
Right, exactly.
they're trying to be like us and they have to be pushed out so they can go find themselves.
Oh my God.
You know
That
what I'm
is
saying?
Perfect.
It is.
I had to confront one of my friends,
Yes.
so-called friends.
Right.
And I said, dude, I'm holding
You back. That's exactly
because
right.
you're dependent on everything that I
Yes.
do, and you can't be to become who you want to become or need. And if you don't
Exactly.
understand that, then there's anger, and he's like, you just want to
That's exactly right. And I've had that conversation
Me
before
too.
where that's what I said is it's not fair to you.
Right.
For me to allow you to
Continue.
continue, it's not fair to you
It's not.
because you've got greatness within you.
Exactly.
Now, I'm not the one that's going to be able to pull it out
Right.
because what happens is they this has been my experience is they view you and they almost idolize you and put you on
Exactly.
a pedestal.
Right.
And so there that relationship, you're not going to be able to pull it out of them because of the way they feel about themselves and the connection with you. They've got to go to someone else.
Right.
I mean, it just is,
Right.
and
Right.
but here's what I'm going to say about you. It shows so much character and integrity that you care so much about them
Right.
because believe me, there are a lot of people, they like those people around them
Right.
because they use them.
Exactly.
They use them. And I'm not going to use anybody.
I'm not going to use
I'm not
anybody.
going to use anybody. I don't have time for that. I don't.
You ain't
I
got
ain't got
time for
time. I
that.
ain't got time
Ain't
for
nobody
that.
got time for that.
I ain't got time to use somebody because we know that our purpose is so big. I mean,
It's
it's like
huge.
it's so big, and we have to keep going, and we have to keep going, and we have to, there. And I don't know about you. I'm going to ask you something really. It's
Uh-oh. Let's
so
go. Let's go.
okay. Listen,
Okay.
have there ever been times when you just say, I don't know if I can keep going,
Oh, yes.
and
Oh, yes.
you sometimes, and when does that happen, in the morning or at night
In
or
the
during the day?
morning,
Yeah.
like I don't want to get up. It's done. I'm burnt. I mean, I had not too long ago.
Mm-hmm.
I had a situation where everything is just coming down on me, and I'm like, even if I make it to a certain level that I want to make it to, because
Right.
you got to get to this level of influence. That's the
Right.
thing. Because you got the
Exactly.
Jay-Z's and everybody here on
Right.
this influence level, and you have to be there to influence a higher perspective of everything. And so I got to the point where I'm like, you know what? If people think I'm out for fame and fortune, I don't want it. Mm-hmm. I don't want it. You can have it because I don't want to prove them right or whatever. And thinking
Right.
about it, and my manager was like, "Look, you don't want it. I'll take it." Mm-hmm. And I'm like, "What? Oh, I'm sorry. I did want it. What? I didn't say that." So I'm like, but yeah, there are so many moments that you feel so heavy
Yes.
because of all the things that people say and do or whatever, and it feel like there's no point.
Right. Mine happens at night. I get up in the morning and I hit the ground and I'm running,
Right.
going, going, going. But sometimes I'll be in bed at night and I think to myself, who do I think I am?
Exactly.
It's like,
Yes.
who do I think I am?
Yes.
And you just start doing, but here's my vision. It's like, my vision is when we talk about influencers, and this is what I love about Passion Dallas, and
Yeah.
this is what I love about what I do with creating winning life teams, is my vision is, why do you have to be a celebrity to have influence?
Exactly.
Why can't we pull together enough people like us that are all over in our communities, and we start banding together because there's power in numbers, and the influence
Yes.
comes. And
Yes.
that's really what I believe is the beginning of Passion Dallas. I'm doing it, you're doing it, Carrie's doing
Yes.
it, Gilbert's doing it,
Yes.
but Darren's doing it. But let's pull it all together so the influence, so we start within our communities,
Yes.
but then
Yes.
all of our influence increases, and people start to say, "Hey, we're not the only two people that think like this.
Exactly.
We're not the only two people."
That's
and
right.
and what we're trying to do, and why I just love you so much. I mean, our hearts connected the first time we
First
met
time I was tripping.
is is because we're not going to stop. We're just
No.
going to keep on
No.
going, and we're going to keep on going, and as many things we have to do, we'll do.
That's right.
And what I want for the people watching today is, if this is touching your heart, I say you got to touch people's heart and souls so you can teach them, so you can inspire them, so we can all make a better impact in the world. And if we're touching your heart or soul, or we're teaching you anything that you didn't know, or maybe just a different perspective,
Right.
and that you realize, listen, I guarantee you, we could sit and tell story after story after story of all our hardships,
Yeah.
of all the things all the times we've fallen. And,
Yeah. Oh
sometimes,
man, falling.
oh, shoot, man, sometimes, man, I mean, it's, it's like, how many times, one of my mentors, his name is Jeff Olson, and he's the most successful person that's ever stepped foot in the network marketing industry. He's just a good person.
Right.
And I remember one time when I had people attacking me, and he said, Jens, if somebody new wanted to stab me in the back, they'd have to take out a knife to
And
put a
find a
new one,
spot.
because there's my back is covered,
It's find a spot.
and he's like, it just is. But a dog only barks at a moving car.
Right.
And you're
That's
moving.
right. That's
It means you are moving.
That's
It means
right.
you are doing things. It means you are trying to make an impact in the world. You are making a difference in the world. So it's not if it's going to happen, it's just when.
Oh, I hear that.
It's just when.
I hear that. Man. I
So
hear that.
so we have I'll tell you, this is just the beginning. It's
Just
not
the
the
beginning,
end.
yeah.
It's
Oh,
not
yeah.
the end. And one of the things I do every show is I have a Ask Jen's question. And this Ask Jen's question, I'm telling you, we basically answered it all throughout the show. But I want Fenton, I'm gonna give you my perspective, and then I want Fenton to close it up, and then we're gonna close the show today. So it's, how do I know what I'm passionate about in life? And I'll tell you personally, I think you know what you're passionate about in life when you'll get up early in the morning, you'll stay up late at night, you'll do it without money, and you'll just, it fills your soul. That's, to me, how you know what you're passionate about. What do you think, Fenton?
I think the same thing, the same lines. If you enjoy it and you would do it without being paid and don't even think about it. And matter of fact, I used to feel like I'm cheating someone.
You're like,
I did. I'm like, this is too much fun and you're going to pay me? I don't think this is right.
Right.
But it's because you love it so much. I mean, I have this burning, this yearning inside of me that has to get out. That's my passion. And you can't stop it.
I know,
You
I
cannot
love it.
stop it. And I tell kids, matter of fact, this past Saturday, I was talking to one of the young ladies on my team, dance team. I said, here's the thing about us. We are eagles, right? But if you forget that you're an eagle, then you'll be in the chicken's coop. So you'll be acting like a chicken,
that's right.
right? So all these chickens around here looking at the ground, because that's their perspective.
That's right.
But when you realize you're an eagle and you start to fly, you get a bigger perspective on
Exactly.
everything. And then the chicken's going to get jealous because they can't fly.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
So that's
Fenton.
my thing. I mean, hey, come on, let's be an eagle. Let's soar.
Yes,
Let's soar with our passions and what we are created to do,
that's right.
and show the world that they can do it as well.
That's exactly right. And that's the best way to end it, is that we all fly as eagles and we help one another fly as eagles. And the only way we do that is when we are blessing this world with our gifts and talents.
Yes.
Don't let that light of yours go hide it under a bush. Let it shine. So until we meet again next Monday at 3 p.m. Central, be big, be bold, and most importantly, be you. Bye-bye.